from Firebird in Salem, Oregon. We're here for the title matches of today's JBT events. A great one in the scratch division as the 1 and 2 bowlers in the season-long point standings are 1 and 2 again in the tournament and playing for today's title. Brian Monnette led all 8 rounds of the tournament, and Ryan Nikolas has climbed the ladder to get to him. And that 10-pin has Monnette trailing by 11 pins through 3 frames. Over in the handicap division, a couple of JBT rookies going at it here. It's Christian Roberts playing Isaac Mailkoff for the title, and Isaac has won 3 matches in the 8-person stepladder finals to get this far. So we're looking for an almost carbon copy of yesterday, where Faith Stewart won 4 matches in the handicap stepladder to win the title. Isaac looking to turn the trick himself. Christian was hovering right around the top 8 until a huge game 8 vaulted him all the way from 7th place to 1st place in the title, and coming out strong here in the title match. He's got 66 through 4th, but unfortunately that leaves him only tied at the moment with Mailkoff, who is getting 27 pins a handicap in this match. Christian has to win by 27 to tie and 28 to win. Monnette had an interesting day. Even though he led all 8 rounds, he went backwards in 3 of those rounds as the scores were very low today, bowling on the very tough Alcatraz pattern. You see what happens right there if you leak it to the right at all. That was Monnette 8 gunning there. Big washout from Mailkoff to fire at, and he's only going to get the right 2 out of that, so he's going to drop quite a few pins right there. Brian started with 251 and then went minus for the next 3 games and was still in the lead after game 4 at -2. And rebounded for a 212 game 5 to be the only bowler plus after game 5. Nice job with the spare there. Robert's lucky to get the double wood into a single pin there. Nikolas, meanwhile, has gotten by Jerry Jennings, AJ Schock, and Jacob Mullen, who was right behind Monnette all day long, to get to this position. Lefty versus righty, more cranker versus stroker, and right now Nikolas looks locked in on that pair. Leads by 13 now with a chance to extend to 23 if he can strike in the 5th. Roberts with no problem at that 8-pin. Mailkoff, I gotta say, is one of the cooler name shirts I've seen in a while. Whoa, and although he's not gonna like that ball one bit. He makes me wish I had some I's and O's in my name, because each I is a bowling pin and each O is a bowling ball. And this is the worst time to talk about him right after a gutter, but oh well. Man, pretty shots from Ryan over there. Mailkoff has defeated Celeste Johnson and Madison Bash in round 1, Tyler Coates and Evan Smith in round 2, Mackenzie Brumbaugh and Collins Davis in round 3. Throwing it 2 hands, he's clipping the thumb hole. That's that thump, thump, thump that you hear on the way down there, but covers up the spare, and since he was on an open, that's really no harm done there to him. It's as good as a 9 spare. Monnette's struggling a little bit. No strikes through 5 frames over there. He's had a fantastic look all day. No! And that is some strange pin action there, as he almost leaves the light 6-7 and something comes over and takes out the 7. What was that? That was bizarre. Isaac not quite able to jump on it. After that 212, Monnette took over in the semis. The game against Jacob Mullen was looking like it was going to be for the 1 seed at that point. And Monnette fired a 277 game at the time to lock up, really, essentially, the title, the number 1 seed right there. Roberts converts the spare after that unusual pin action on the strike ball. Isaac's going to try and hook it over into the 4 and doesn't quite get there, and his body language tells the story right there. Ryan came into this weekend with a 29-point lead over Brian, and Brian came in with a 450-point lead over 3rd place Chris Tucholsky, so it's been them all season long. Now that's some bizarre pin action right there, as something goes in front of the 4-7. Seeing some weird things all of a sudden here. Real nice shot for Christian. Obviously he's been practicing. Eric Griggs and the team here at Firebird, great hosts all weekend. Big turnouts, busy weekend, a lot of fun, a lot of drama. Oh, and almost another gutter ball for Isaac. Everybody Isaac's beaten so far is saying, where was that the last 3 games? That's all part of it. Brian, an excellent spare shooter, hard and straight. He's got 6 of them in a row. It looks like he might need some X's to win that match over there. Christian goes hard and straight, but not quite the aim to cover up that. And this one's actually pretty close right now. He's got 133 through 8. Let's see what Isaac does on his double wood in the middle. He's going to miss one of them, so that gives him 105 through 8. So check this out. Isaac is trailing by 28, and guess how much Christian has to win by, folks? 28. So they're dead tied right now when you factor the handicap in. It's essentially a 9th and 10th frame roll-off over here in handicap. Oh, and of all things, the dreaded 310. I would rather leave a 710 than a 310. They're impossible. I don't care what anybody says. I can't make them. There's a lot of pins I can't make. That's one of them. Let's see what Isaac answers with. Much more makeable split, or spare rather. Meanwhile, Nikolas 3-baggered to extend his lead. Let's see if Christian can make this 310. Pretty good shot. Oh! Doesn't quite have it. Big, big, big spare opportunity here for Mailkoff. Switches to one-handed, perfectly legal by the way, and has it. Nice job for Isaac. Nikolas is going to let the crowd know if he gets this hit here. Oh, tugs it right the entire way though. He'll be perfectly happy leaving just a 4-pin with that. He scraped by a few rounds here with minus 105 with 1 game to go, which was actually sort of in the cut. If you're not sure who to go, B has to bowl. Isaac trying to pull a fast one here and make his opponent finish. That was a nice try, Isaac. Wow, that was a really nice shot there in the 10th, but the 7 doesn't fall. Anybody's game still. Brian with real classic delivery. Watch the timing, watch the balance of the foul, and watch that follow through go directly to target. All important keys. Perfect. And finally, a perfect result over there for Monnette. Obviously a huge spare for Isaac, and he's got it. The Mailkoff crowd finally getting into it. It's been quiet over there. It's been beating all our regulars. Finally some cheers over there. Monnette very much in this match still. He trails by 36, but working on a strike, shooting in the 8th frame. Sounds like a lot, but that can be made up very, very quickly, especially on a really tough pattern where opens are possible at any moment. Nice fill ball as well, a 143 scratch game. So again, Christian's got a win by 28. Oh, what a great shot. If he doesn't strike on this next ball, he wins by less than that, so he has to strike on the next one. In fact, all 3 gives him 172, which will be a 29-pin win, which would be a 1-pin, but it will be a 2-pin win. So he needs strike 9 to win the tournament. Anything less than strike 9, Isaac wins. Has to have this shot. Gotta come back. Oh, doesn't quite come back, and Isaac Mailkoff's going to climb the ladder for the title. And I think he just may have perhaps possibly figured it out. Nothing to be ashamed of for Christian with that spectacular game to get him up to where the worst he can finish was second, and that's unfortunately where it is. 219 to 211 is your final score over there. Nicely done out of both bowlers. Nikolas doesn't double in the ninth. But again, another easy spare. And tell you what, we're gonna both bowlers going at a 200 pace. That hasn't happened very much today. The cut was minus 127 in the scratch division, so that's just about a 176 average to make the first cut. Extremely low. Brian Monnette can still strike out here for 232. Nikolas going at a 228 pace with 238, the best he can do. It's going to be tough for Brian to win without this hit here. Can't throw it any better than that. 3 in a row for Monnette, as the giant bird getting hit by the ball indicates. It's Brian's scoreboard as he moves over to the left-hand lane for his 10th frame versus Ryan here. He'll finish up on lane 6. This next shot makes Nikolas mark. 2 strikes, Nikolas would have to double. Might not need to mark without. Wide. Oh, just gets that 7-pin to tilt out. Any wider than that, you wash out. You pinch it at all on this, and there's not much left in the middle. What we used to call a reverse block is pretty much what Alcatraz devolves into, because you have to play the middle portion of the lane all day. So the out of bounds just gets stronger. You know how to do it? Yeah. There you go. The out of bounds just gets stronger all day, and the middle gets drier, so you end up with total friction to the left and skid to the right. That's the opposite of what you get on a house lane condition. Again, as it stands, Ryan will have to mark to win the title and just hold any sort of decent count. Monnette can strike here. Ryan will have to double in the 10th. Huge shot, season-long implications on this ball. Will it messenger roll it? Will it roll it? It won't. Wow. Pretty good shot and a great comeback from where he was. He's going to bowl a clean 220 after 6 straight spares to open it up. He went back 4 from there. Ryan Nikolas is going to need mark and count. Double points on the line. Big stuff and a tense crowd watching the rest. Real solid 221 out of Brian, but will it be enough? Somewhat disappointing 5th place finish for Ryan yesterday. He can avenge that. And a lot more right here. Can he ever? Wow. And a little extra slap at the end there. He's got to feel really good about himself. After throwing the hit for the win, getting through 3 really tough opponents just to get to Brian, and a heartbreaker for Monnette. No way around it to lead the entire tournament and have it just barely slip by in a tough opponent. But guess what? I will go out on a limb and say this is not the last time these 2 guys play each other this season. It's been entertaining to watch them all year long, and definitely more to come. It's a point in Ryan's favor, but nothing resolved on a season-long basis quite yet. Great stuff in the title match. That's solid bowling out of both bowlers, 228 to 221. We'll do it all over again in Arizona next weekend and back in the Northwest in about a month. Great stuff, you two. Be proud. Hide behind that post while your man hug gets right.